Hi, I'm David, and I'm so excited to be bringing you this video. I'd like to start by thanking the people at Accentize. If I hadn't known that a new plugin of an unknown name was coming out, I wouldn't have been able to keep an eye on the website as well as I did. And as a result, I saw almost immediately when dxSplit, Accentize's new noise reduction plugin, was possibly soft launched last night while making sure nothing went wrong. I know they have now, I believe, officially announced it, and their own YouTube videos went up 4 hours ago. As far as I can see, nobody else has got a video up yet. So I have been rushing this for the last few hours, preparing to show you guys what the plugin can do. So, if you've watched my previous noise reduction head-to-head video, you will know that the two plugins that came out on top of that were Clear and Hush. Now, the issue with Hush is that it was a separate piece of software, and because I work in Reaper and not Pro Tools, I was unable to test Hush Pro, which all people say is the one to beat. So I was quite excited that Accentize were coming out with a noise reduction plugin, because potentially it could be a Hush Pro killer. Now, the first thing to say is, yes, this plugin is able to run in two modes. It can run in a core mode, which will also run on Windows, but it can run in an extended mode, which takes advantage of the neural engine in the M series processors in the Mac. I will be showing you both of them at bits and pieces of times during this review. The second thing to mention is that given that in the end I decided to give the crown to Clear as the best performing plugin that actually ran within Reaper, I have used Clear as the benchmark in this video. So throughout, you are going to see various tests that I'm running through Clear and through dxSplit. Now, I just want to start by showing you some of the features of dxSplit. Now, as you can see here, it has the main three toggles that you have on pretty much any plugin of this sort. It has the algorithm selection at the top, and it lets you mute and solo, the voice, the reverb, the noise, link them up in pairs, and of course EQ or focus might be a more accurate word on what the reduction or increase is operating on. Now, the really cool thing about dxSplit is it integrates dxRevive directly into the plugin. So as you can see here, I've got dxRevive Pro launched, currently with the Studio 2 algorithm on this particular test, and it is running inside dxSplit. It is not running as a separate plugin instance. I have got one plugin and one plugin only on every single one of the tracks in my project, well, except for the raw track, which has no plugins at all. So what I've done is I've recorded a number of tests to show to you, and I will kind of explain each one, and then let's have a listen to how they sound. So in each case, I have tried to adjust the settings of both Clear, dxSplit without dxRevive, and dxSplit with dxRevive to get the best performance possible. There are a couple of tests where it really makes a difference whether you're using the core or extended version of the algorithm, so I will highlight those as we get to it. So to start off, I have got this test of me in a bathroom being loud and reverby.
Now is the winter of our Crunchazoids!
So that is unarguably unpleasant. So for Clear's test, I have reduced the reverb as far as I could without getting artifacts. You might be able to hear some artifacts, but you cannot get it lower than this without it starting to sound really quite weird. So I managed to get a 13.2 decibel cut on the reverb.
Now is the winter of our Crunchazoids!
So it is impressive. It is unarguably impressive. It is managing to cut down a lot of the reverb. But if we look at dxSplit, for comparison purposes, I have set it to be exactly the same reduction in reverb, at least in decibel levels, but of course making use of the extended algorithm on this one. So I'm going to play the Clear again and let it go straight through to the dxSplit.
Now is the winter of our Crunchazoids. Now is the winter of our Crunchazoids.
Now, it sounds more natural to me, but it does also sound very slightly harsh or metallic at the edges. The kind of artifacts you expect to get when you use a reverb reduction plugin. So for the third test, I have also enabled dxRevive. I have set it to EQ Restore, which is only set to suppress artifacts, as well as doing kind of the restoration stuff that dxRevive does. So I've disabled the noise reduction and the reverb reduction in dxRevive. I've, as a rarity, had to set it above 50%. I've set it to 76.5. But let's have a listen to the difference that this makes. I'm going to play it without dxRevive and then with.
Now is the winter of our Crunchazoids. Now is the winter of our Crunchazoids.
So there's still a bit of distortion on the Crunchazoids, but that's, honestly, that's probably there in the original. This was recorded on an iPhone with a Senken CSM1 ultra short shotgun microphone. And I was unable to control levels while recording, so it is entirely possible that the audio is peaking at that point. I have got a limiter on just to make sure. So far, very impressive performance. Nothing completely mind-blowing in terms of blowing clear out of the water, at least not with dxSplit on its own, but the integration with dxRevive Pro is very impressive, and it will, of course, integrate with dxRevive itself. Certain algorithms are available in dxRevive Pro and not available in dxRevive. Particularly coming to mind is the Studio 3 plugin, but as you'll see, it is not always that plugin that I have chosen to use. The second test I have done is standing in front of an active washer dryer.
To be or not to be, that is the conundrum.
That is loud. But if we run clear, this time setting ambience to -34.2 and reducing voice reverb, as I am effectively standing at the edge of a cupboard there, we get this.
To be or not to be, that is the conundrum.
Now, for dxSplit, I have set things to be slightly different. I've reduced a lot of noise. I've reduced slightly less reverb, and it ends up sounding like this. I'll play clear again as comparison.
To be or not to be, that is the conundrum. To be or not to be, that is the conundrum.
So the key thing there is clear removes the extraneous sound exceptionally well. It does a great job of it. However, dxSplit removes the extraneous sound while making me sound significantly more natural. And then, if we add in dxRevive, in this case, I have used the Studio 2 algorithm. I tend to find it the airiest. I haven't made any changes to the reverb of the noise. I haven't done that in any case when I've added it on dxRevive Pro. I've kept it at 50%. The Studio 2 algorithm, I believe, is available in dxRevive, not Pro. And if we play it without the dxRevive and then with...
To be or not to be, that is the conundrum. To be or not to be, that is the conundrum.
To me, that is phenomenally impressive. I mean, the kind of audio we are getting there, given the level of noise that you heard in the original.
That is the...
I've got to say, that is astonishing. I mean, clear is pretty astonishing there, but dxSplit and dxRevive together really are very, very astonishing. The next test is, by far and away, the one I designed to be most challenging. And it is the sound of me recording in my ISO box. You'll see me recording on screen, and a vacuum cleaner is being turned on and off intermittently in the background. It's that intermittent nature that makes this so hard. I need something of Farsi's that she used or play with. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe. Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? So Clear does, as always, a good job of removing the noise, but I need something of Farsi's that she used or play with. You can really hear it there if you're careful. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe. Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? So that makes a big difference in the quality of the audio. It still wouldn't be usable for an audiobook, though. Now, this is the first of two areas where there's a huge difference whether we use core or extended. So I'm going to play it with the core algorithm first. Just to show you, I've reduced noise by infinity in order to show exactly what it's detecting as noise. I need something of Farsi's that she used or play with. There. If you hear that, it is not immediately responsive to the noise. That is the big difference I've noticed on this test between core and extended. If we play it extended with it removing all the noise, I need something of Farsi's that she used or play with. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe. Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? That is frankly quite astonishing. Removing the intermittent sound of a fairly loud vacuum cleaner to a point that I can't hear it through my headphones. You might be able to hear it if you turn it up, but that is certainly, from a single plugin alone, more than enough to do the rest of an audiobook processing chain on. Now, if we add in dxRevive as well, for this one I've chosen to go with the Studio 3 algorithm, just personal preference. I think it sounded nice. Let's play it without it. Well, let's play the tail end of the last one without it. Kid or something she slept on, maybe. Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? I need something of Farsi's that she used or play with. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe. Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? Now, this one's a bit more interesting. It changes the sound a lot more, but it does so in a way that would save processing later in the chain. So effectively, we are letting dxRevive do some of the work that would later be done in the chain. The next test is one that many voice actors, audiobook narrators will be very used to, and that is the sound of a constant computer fan. So I set my MacBook Pro M4 Max processor fan to be maximum with some override software, and you'll hear it going on in the background here. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe? Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? And then let's hear that with Clear, which is set to remove most but not all of the ambience, and because I am recording in an ISO box, removing a little bit of reverb as well. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe? Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? And this is the kind of test that led Clear to win the last time I did a noise reduction comparison. But with dxSplit, again, keeping on an extended, actually reducing a bit more of the reverb and a bit less of the noise, we end up with... Right. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe? Did you have a favourite blanket or toy? And then you can really hear the effect of the ISO box, the boxiness in that. So again, I've gone for adding in dxRevive and gone for the Studio 2 algorithm because it is the airiest sounding and it is the one that does the best of negating the ISO box sound. I need something of Farsi's that she used or played with. A blanket or something she slept on, maybe? Did she have a favourite blanket or toy? Again, depending on the impact this makes on processing and rendering, this could save a lot of time in the later parts of the FX chain. The final test is a particularly challenging one that the plugins all respond to in a very different way, and that is how well does it sound with multiple sources of voice. So in this, you will hear my voice, you will hear the voice of two of my family members, and you will hear the television on in the background as well.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
It is inside, are you sure?
I'm not one of those who can easily hide.
So clear, configured to remove quite a lot of reverb and even more of the ambiance, as they call it, or noise as I do.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
It is inside, are you sure?
I'm not one of those who can easily hide.
So you can hear the second voice, the younger of the other two, coming in and out there. Now, if we go to dxSplit, again extended, removing less reverb and a lot of noise, it sounds like this.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
It is inside, are you sure?
I'm not one of those who can easily hide.
So there, that is really quite impressive. It is correctly filtered out the sound of the television, and it has not filtered out and has made more clear the sound of the humans. This is the other one where there's a big difference if we change it back to core. If I play that to you.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
There, if you could hear the television in the background going on there, you can't hear that when it's set to extended. And then the next test is indeed testing with DX Revive on as well. For this one, I found the Natural 2 algorithm. I have no idea if this is part of DX Revive Regular or not. Playing, again, reverb and noise are set to the same levels, and it ends up sounding like this. Ooh, let's play the right one.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
It is inside, are you sure?
I'm not one of those who can easily hide.
So what's really impressive to me there is there are four sources of sound in front of the shotgun microphone. There's me. On the left-hand side, there is the child's voice. On the right-hand side, there is the television. And then behind the camera, there is another adult, female adult. So that is a lot of off-axis sound, which sounds extremely natural once it's gone through that. I mean, that is impressive. Now, admittedly, I'm a big fan of the Senken CSM1. It is good at that sort of thing, but that is still really quite impressive. Now, one of the last things that you're probably interested in knowing is how this affects the rendering speed. So to prepare this, I have prepared a number of tests just to show. I'm going to render to 32-bit floating point because that is what my Reaper instance is configured to use most of the time. And if we run it on just the raw audio, we're getting a 53.2 real time. To be honest, I got 76 the last time I tested that. It is too short to really see the impact at that sort of speed. But then if we look at first the impact of clear renders it at 11 speed, so a 5 to 7 times slower than before. If we look at dxSplit, this is dxSplit running on extended. it's still running at 10.7. That's quite impressive, to be honest. That is, I expected before this, I didn't test this bit earlier, I expected that to run a lot slower. If we add in dxSplit and dxRevive, again, we are going to need to, I'm sorry, I'm losing track of what region is what at the moment. Let's check the impact of dxSplit and dxRevive with dxSplit running in extended. Again, slightly slower, not much, pretty impressive. And in core, when it should operate at its fastest, it's a bit faster, 12.6. And a bit faster, I would imagine, again. Barely. So the difference running in core and extended is not much. No, your mileage may vary on say an M1, stock processor versus the M4 Max, which is kind of a little overkill. But still, those differences in numbers are fairly small, and that is fairly profoundly impressive. So dxSplit is currently on an introductory sale. Let me pull up the price off screen from you. dxSplit is currently on sale for, I have no idea. Right, so dxSplit normally on sale for €299 and currently on sale for €225. That's a 25% discount. Now, admittedly, that is quite a lot more expensive than Clear, but it is around about the same price, if not maybe cheaper, than Hush Pro, and it actually works outside of Pro Tools. My conclusions are that this is an impressive plugin. I was really excited about this, but I tend to have pretty low expectations of noise reduction plugins, and this kind of blew them out of the water. So, I have little else to say beyond that. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully, in the meantime, while I've recorded this, no one else has got a video out. And please do like and subscribe the channel. I am going to be reviewing a lot more plugins coming up soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.